Good morning, one and all, and welcome to our today's webinar on industry expectations from engineering students, tips for success. This is Dr. Sipu, the head of the Department of English, Vageshwari College of Engineering, Karimnagar, Telangana State. On behalf of the Vageshwari College of Engineering and the Department of English, we extend our heartfelt warm greetings to the eminent speaker and resource person of today's webinar, Mr. Kiran Chanda, a well-known corporate trainer from Hyderabad, and also to all the participants who joined the webinar with a lot of enthusiasm and thirst for knowledge. Sri Vageshwari Educational Society, established in 2005 under the able and dynamic leadership of Dr. Gandra Srinivas Reddy Garu, has been a proven organization in every respect for its quality technical education in this region. The management has always been a great guiding force behind all the successful endeavors of its faculty members. We are also well guided, motivated, and encouraged by an able administrator and visionary, Dr. C.H. Srinivas Garu, the principal of this reputed organization. The English department has always been striving relentlessly to enhance the English language skills among our students. Even during this pandemic time also, we are providing the students various opportunities to develop their language abilities by conducting online quizzes and webinars through which we want to help them achieve a great success by unleashing their true potential. Before aspiring to be the employees of major reputed industries, students need to understand what are the true needs and expectations of the industry. In this regard, we sincerely felt to offer an expert lecture to the student community across the nation. Hence, I approached and requested Mr. Kiran Chanda and have been fortunate enough to get his consent. Now, let me take the pleasure of introducing you all today's speaker, Mr. Kiran Chanda. Mr. Kiran Chanda is a certified trainer having 18 long years of training expertise in behavioral skills, business communication, personality development. He is a British Council certified examiner for International English Language Testing System, IELTS, and also Cambridge certified examiner for Business English Certificate, BEC, levels 1, 2, and 3. And is also image consultant, is a trainer, coach, and guest speaker. Mr. Kiran is a corporate trainer and he has trained the employees of corporate companies like major corporate companies like Aviva Software, Daichel Chiral Technologies, D. Shaw Software India Private Limited, Dolphin Hotels, Ramoji Film City, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories India, Granules India, and MaTV, and Medtronic India, and Mylon Laboratories, Newlon Laboratories, Qualcomm India Private Limited, Royal Ridge Hotel, Sai Life Sciences, Standard Chartered Bank India, TSRTC Zonal Staff Training College, Yashoda Hospitals, and many more like this. And Mr. Kiran so far has trained 10,000 plus employees from corporate world. And he also has given webinars in many renowned educational institutions inside and outside India, like Ante in School of English, South Korea, Bharat Engineering College, Hyderabad, DRS International School, India, Magnus School of Business, Hyderabad, and Majidia High School, Maldives, and Mughal Colleges, Hyderabad, Neeraj International School, Hyderabad, Neeraj Public School, Oak Ridge International School, India, Pragati Mahavidyalaya, and Ramdevi Public School, Hyderabad, and Soumya Murthy Foundation, Sri Lanka, and St. Anne's Girls High School, Secunderabad, Villa Mary PG College, Hyderabad, Gokaraju Rangaraju Engineering College, MGIT, and many other colleges like this. So with these few words, I humbly request Mr. Kiran Chanda to enlighten our today's participants, those who are eagerly waiting to listen to him. Now over to Mr. Kiran Chanda. Sir, can you please start your session?
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Srinivas. Thank you, one and all, from the management of Vageshwari College of Engineering.
You're welcome.
And thank you, all the participants. Uh, at the outset, let me thank the Chief Patron of Vageshwari Engineering College, Sri Dr. Gandra Srinivas Reddy Garu, then D. Srinivas Reddy, Joint Secretary, Dr. C.H. Srinivas, Principal, Vageshwari College of Engineering, and our beloved convener, Dr. Srinivas Madhapu, for honoring me with his kind words. And with that, let me start the session for you. Industry expectations about engineering college students, or for that matter, graduates or job seekers anywhere in the country. What does the industry actually look uh, in them when they employ them, right? So let me share my screen with you for the day's presentation.
Surrender? Okay. Huh? You can talk to him on.
All right, I hope all of you can see the screen here, and I hope I am audible.
Yeah, you are perfectly audible.
Thank you very much, sir. Yep.
Yeah.
So before I start, I would like to invite one of my friends from the industry. I've been fortunate enough to have friends from the industry, especially from software industry and other types of industry. So before I get into the presentation and tell you what exactly the industry looks for, I thought, let me have a first-hand opinion of what exactly the industry wants. So I invite now my friend, Mr. Vijay Kumar Vaddem, who works in a software company and who has been on several campus recruitment drives as an employee of a reputed organization to employ people in his company. Let's see what he says about his experience in employing people or conducting interviews. So allow me a minute's time to get my friend on board. Vijay sir, could you please come on board for us? Could you unmute yourself?
Got it. Thank you. So I was waiting for the permission to get unmuted for myself.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. So thanks, Kiran. So my name is Vijay Vadam. People call me as Vijay, and have been working in the software industry, as Kiran mentioned, for last 16 years. And my journey of this experience, part of my work, is spanned across, or I spent spanned across like two organizations primarily. One is a Dutch-based company called as Codis. I have worked with Codis for last more than 10 years, rather. And for the last 6 years, I have been associated with Pegasystems, which is a Boston-based US software company, primarily dealing with customer engagement solutions around CRM and sales and marketing products. So as Kiran mentioned, I have been involved in many of the campus drives which used to conduct across the organizations which I have been working for. And one of the most important thing whenever I go for a campus drive and when I start engaging with the students like you all, is that like the primary thing which I always look for is that how exactly the person he's presenting himself. See, at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're trying to sell ourselves, to market ourselves, to say that like how good we are compared to the rest of the folks, and then why do you think me as an individual will bring in a kind of a real value addition to the organization if get selected, right? Now, in that process, most of the people, when I used to talk to the engineer, the fresh graduates out of the college during this campus drive, is that they're in a kind of an assumption that like if you know so and so technology, like be it X or Y or Java or some NLP or AI or all kind of buzzwords related technology, if you talk about, they are in the kind of a belief that like if you know or understand a bit of pieces of this technology or that technology, that would be good enough kind of that would something like give you kind of a ticket to get selected. Trust me, For me, if you ask, that is going to play an important role. Yes, agreed. The technology always is a kind of core part of a business. But again, for me, when it comes to terms of percentage, it's hardly going to take like 15 to 20% of your overall evaluation criteria which you look for, right? Now, the most important thing when we look for an individual during this hiring process is that, like, how is the student, he's or the prospect is presenting himself? What kind of behavioral aspects he's displaying, and what kind of uh, personality he's showcasing for all the people in on the table, right? So, end of the day, what we're doing here, like when you get selected, when you join an organization and you start working, you're actually not going to kind of coding for throughout the day, right? So the most important thing which you're doing, which you must be doing, is like you're solving a business problem for your customer, right? And when we say solving a business problem, technology is only one element to that. The rest of the part, or the rather majority of the part, involves on the lines of saying that, like, most importantly, how do you empathize with your customer, right? And how do you engage with your customer to understand the problem which is going through, and then connect that problem statements which is being explained in terms of customers business terminology, and then translate that into the kind of requirements, or kind of a task to be done to achieve or to solve that problem, right? And when I say that, it requires a lot of behavioral skills, especially when it comes to the point of you working in a group or a team, as a part of a team. Then it has to go hand in hand together. So it also means that, like, you also have to work as a group, and then come up with your solutions, and then take it back to the customer to validate, like, how your implementation or your approach of problem solving is going to help address the business problems the customer is looking for. Now, in this process, like, first thing, the most important thing which you need to be aware is, like, if you ask me, my opinion is that, like, listening skills, ability to articulate your message across, ensuring that you understand what your customer is talking about, and then at the same time you being able to explain what you are trying to convey, how your idea is going to solve the problem. These are the aspects which is going to play a very, very critical role, or very, very crucial role, when it comes to the expectations from the industry, right? So I'll quote a couple of examples here as well. Like, so when I was in Pondicherry as part of a campus trial, so we used to travel across the country. It's not only that, like, we only focus on Hyderabad or Mumbai kind of metro cities, but again, we used to travel across India to look for, especially in the areas of tier 2 and tier 3 cities, like our own Warangal in this context, for example, and then look for those colleges where, like, we can find a real talent when it comes to the elements of, be it on the technology or be it on the behavioral and the social aspects of the persons, and then look for the right set of candidates, including last year, I remember we had been to NIT as well, where we did this kind of campus drive, and then had a couple of very good engineers coming out based on the criteria which we set for ourselves. So the examples which I quote is, like, one of my friends brother, like, he's also quite a senior in terms of engineering, and then has been working very hard over a period of time. But when it comes to a kind of an engagement session to discover the problems, or problem, we call it as a problem discovery process for a given customer scenario. And when we start engaging with the customer, everything was going good, and then we're able to understand the problem you're seeing. And then my friend's brother has a very good idea of how to solve that problem. But what happened end of the day, like, because of is limited ability to be able to engage and then articulate the way he really wants to solve the problem, it has caused a kind of a situation where he was not able to put across the message to the customer. And end of the day, we couldn't get it through when it comes to the kind of picking up that as an approach for the solution. Again, for me, again, it means that, like, no matter what brilliant idea you have, no matter how good you are in a given technology, most important thing for me is, like, how do you convey this message across? And in that process, as I always believe in, like, saying that you have to be very, very prescriptive in your approach, saying that, like, hey, this is what I think is going to solve the problem, and this is how the user should be able to do it. We should not think on the lines of saying that, okay, it might work or it can work, but we need to try it out. That and all is good. But end of the day, if you're able to solve the problem for your business, problem for your customer, and then being able to, most importantly, being able to do articulate that message across in a prescriptive fashion, then that is something which customers will always look for, and that's exactly something which we, from a product organization software industry, we always look for, right? So as Dr. Srinivas mentioned in his introduction speech, like whenever I engage with the students or the prospects when it comes to the campus hires, is that I always look for that level of enthusiasm. So I by default, everybody expects that, like, when you interact with all the new college hires or the new graduates coming out of the college fresh, will have that kind of energy in them. And that's one of the first thing which I do whenever I engage with the new joinees who is like onboarding in our organization. The very first thing I do on those occasions is to directly go in and approach and then engage with them, talk to them, because the point is, like, though you may not be aware of the kind of products we are dealing with, though you may not even be aware of the kind of customer problems we are solving at that point of time, but one thing which we can always expect from people like you is that, like, the kind of energy you bring to the table, the kind of enthusiasm you display, and the kind of ideas which you bring to the table in general, right? So that's, again, in a way, will also helps us to get energized as well. So technology, to sum it up, technology is only kind of part of it, but the rest of the thing which is extremely important in our view is that, like, how do you display or how do you present yourself when it comes to the behavioral aspects of an individual. So that's a thing which we always look for.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijay. That's very kind of you, and you have summed it up very nicely. Okay, thank you for your time once again.
Sure.
So, friends, let me go ahead with some part of my presentation before I invite for you my another friend, Mr. Ramakant Reddy, who would also like to share with you his experience on campus drives. All right, after another 5 minutes or so, I shall invite you. I shall invite him for you. All right. So, assuming that some of you are engineering graduates here, let me talk about. Uh, there is enough of input given by probably most of your teachers, and all of us know how important communication is to get a job or for higher studies, or after engineering, what next after graduation or after engineering. Definitely some of us might go for higher studies, and most of us would go for employment. Yeah, there are other two options of marriage and self-employment, wherein we don't have to really worry much about it. Probably there also communication and other skills play an important aspect. So when it comes to higher studies, again, abroad and in India, also we need good communication skills, especially if it is abroad. We need English examinations, again, like IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, etc. Then
tell you I'm from Hanmakonda, so your neighbor. So can you? Yeah, Kiran is back. Yes. So I'm engaged. So yeah, I was telling. So I worked in XYZ companies, world renowned. Can I get there? Yes, I mean I did. Can you get there? Why not? As I was saying, I'm from Hanmakonda. If I can, anybody can. So it's there for us to take. So Kiran will go in detail uh, about steps, but I'll like you to give some tips, like which you should be really careful when you before you even go for campus interview, or even if you don't get it in campus interview, it's not the end of the world. There would be other things. So what would a recruiter look for when before hiring you? How strong are you in your core subjects? Many people think, like which I said earlier, you go to NIT, learn some jaw-dropping jargon, nice courses, and you assume that I'm all set. But remember, we also check for your core engineering. I mean, I'm not saying you should be like good. At least you know your roots. You know your core subjects. How do I trust you to do wonders if I'm not sure? Like you don't even know your basics. So what exactly have you done for the last 4 years there? Okay, that's step number one. Go brush up. I'm not saying in depth, but at least know your chapters and subsections, what they are, rough idea. There would be some people looking for that too, because there are some rounds. It's not just one round interview and you'll be selected. One person will be looking for this, and a person, so somebody else would be looking for your aptitude. HR professionals, what they do, they some people ask you to do take some aptitude tests. So there are lots of aptitude tests online. Why don't you just, okay, you're on your Facebook, you're on your social media, so when you are there, you can as well spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day brushing up your aptitude. Take some tests online. And when I said about social media, remember, go clean up your social media. Everybody looks at it. The first thing we do is, like, the moment you leave, or sometimes even in front of you across, we check, open our laptops, search for your name, and we go through your posts. Okay, including your Facebook, Twitter. So be careful, clean them up. If you haven't, like, start cleaning up from now. And you better be, I mean, do not post comments that are hate, full of hate, or like, I mean, you get the gist. So that's one thing. Even if you are very good, we feel like you will not fit into the culture of the company. So we said, like, no, it's not a fit. He is a troublemaker. She is a troublemaker. Let's not. So you can, okay, can you express dissent? Yes, you can, but use better language, or like be decent on social media. So that's another thing that you're going to do today itself. So you would have, when Vijay said about business problem solving, this is how it is. You would have done some projects in your college, right? Some project, or like at least you would have added your name to somebody else doing some project, and you have been sitting on the bench throughout. At least go through what the project is. So when you are saying business problem solving skills, check what problem that project has solved. Right, I mean, you don't create technology for technology. You create technology, whether it's software or maybe you get into your core engineering, whatever. Technology is there to solve some problem. So what problem exactly did your project solve? So that's what problem solving skills. When we say problems, apart from aptitude, this is a problem solving skills. Yes, with this project, the business user in the larger scale, or your science projects end user will be able to do XYZ with minimum this thing. So that solves it. Yeah. What do you do after that project? You add it to your CV, but nobody actually checks your CV. I mean, they do. So you can go to create a beautiful LinkedIn profile. I think most of you know, otherwise just search for it and create a good profile where you explain the project, the technical information, and the benefits. Remember, explain the project, overview of the project, technical information, and the benefits. Get it corrected by somebody, the language part and the accurate, make it accurate, get it edited, and at least when you are explaining that project, speak good English. In the sense, correct and proper presentation. And don't bluff when you don't know anything. Say you will find out, sorry, I missed it, or I slept through my class. People will laugh, but they will appreciate your honesty. Honesty is what we look for. Analytical or research skill, that's what we said when we said your project or things like that. And Kiran will walk you through when it comes to, you should have a good listening skills, as Vijay mentioned, and answer aptly, in the sense, like, listen to first carefully what the other person is asking and answer to the point. Okay, don't show off your knowledge on the subject. There is something we ask you specifically. We are testing you, how good you are listening, how patient you are. So that's it. And I think Kiran will take over from there about, like, okay, how you should exactly be presenting your English and the kind of things. Yeah, over to you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm done, Kiran. It's all yours.
Yeah, Kiran sir, can you please go ahead? Hello? Kiran sir, can you hear me?
You're on mute. Okay.
Yes. Now I was not allowed to unmute myself. Okay. Now I'm on unmute. I hope all of you can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Your voice is clear. Kiran sir, please go ahead.
Thank you. Yes. I would like to share screen. It says host disabled participant screen share.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Kiran sir, now you are a co-host. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yes. All right, the action plan here, please. During my visit to several engineering colleges and schools in Hyderabad, particularly, and in and around Warangal, Karimnagar, I have come across some fantastic sentences here for you. This is the kind of English and communication that I hear on the campuses from teachers as well. So some of the sentences here are, why you are late, I will cut your marks, I will not give you attendance. What do you know? You know nothing. Arey, by chance, what you do is, what is your good name instead of what is your name? Then no. This is a fantastic one that I've come across. The right sentence would be, don't you know? And the answer also people give, you know, no. They say no, and the speaker still continues, no. It can go on until like a question and answer kind of a scenario. Then they came, no. I told you no. Exams are coming near. What you are doing here? Go and study. This is the kind of English I hear. This is the kind of communication that I hear on the campuses. Now, I'm sure in every school and college, English teachers do their best to make their participants or make their students speak very well. Now, my tip number one for success for both colleges and students is that we must develop a kind of an English speaking culture in and around us. Now, I was wondering the last 2-3 days after Srinivas sir, Dr. Srinivas asked me to address you. The first thing that struck me is that how do colleges earn the repute of being in the top 10 colleges of the country? Let's say top 10 engineering colleges of the country, top 20 engineering colleges of the country. How do they become the top 10 and 20 engineering colleges? And then I got in touch with some of my classmates and my classmates from post-graduation, juniors and seniors who are working in engineering colleges in and around Hyderabad. I live in Hyderabad, and I asked them, how do these colleges earn that kind of reputation? Then they said that there are certain parameters given by the AICTE, and then there are certain other aspects which the college should have in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the technical courses, in terms of technical requirements. And I asked them, what about language and what about how people communicate? Then they said, yes, the reputation also is how the overall energy and enthusiasm levels and the participation levels and communication levels of the people are on the campus. So that is where I felt, oh, this is wonderful. Now at this point again, I was thinking, all students, management of engineering colleges, professors of all departments, other than English departments, everybody knows that after engineering, it is, if a participant, if a graduate has to go for a job, he has to attend an interview, and that is where English language or communication or behavioral aspects come into picture hugely. I mean, that is where there is the candidate gets exposed to the most crucial aspect of selection. Now, why can't we have a plan from day one, which is engineering, first year engineering day one, till 4 years of engineering. Why can't we have a simple plan to learn these skills and be done with it? I have seen many people in Hyderabad joining spoken English institutes after they have completed their MBA in engineering, struggling to get a job. So why can't we have a plan to develop in these 4 years? So for that, I have some quick tips for you. Then there are certain other Indianisms that I've come across in general. Indianisms, I mean true translations from mother tongue to English. So like morning, where going, sir? Nowhere, sir, just throwing one round, sir. Acha, tomorrow onwards, holiday, na? Holiday, sir. Full enjoy, yeah? From now onwards. Suddenly, if you ask me like this, what I can do, you tell me, huh? You do one thing, you simply cut in. This is the kind of English that we speak. Now, it's important for us, tip number 1, to speak simple, plain, correct English on the campus with the help of English teachers, with the help of your professors, with the help of everybody. Let us have a simple plan of speaking English on the campus all the time. Now, at this point in time, I would like to mention something here. It's pretty out of nostalgia, I would like to say, and my friend Ramakant also said that he's from Hanmakonda. I studied in Karimnagar district from nursery till grade 10 in a place called Jammikunta. Okay. Now, I studied in an English medium school called Sri Srinivasa High School. We had some good reputation at that point in time because there were some people in the school, I remember, we used to practice speaking English during the recess time or lunchtime or in the classrooms. So the whole town, and this is, I'm telling you, I completed my 10th standard in the year 1989. There was no WhatsApp, there was no internet at that point in time. But we still earned a great name, not just in the town Jammikunta, but in the entire district. People used to talk about our school, saying that it's a very good school, just because we were able to speak English on the campus, right? So thereafter, I studied for my +2 in Hyderabad, but then I did my graduation in Arts and Science College, Warangal, and studied for my MA in English in Nirmal. So I'm from this part of the country, and it would be I would be very happy if Vageshwari College of Engineering gets into the top 20 colleges. I hope it's already there. I didn't check, to be very honest, to be in the top 20 engineering colleges of the country. All that we need to do, just speak English on the campus. And the advantage is that my friend like Vijay and his team should visit your college for recruitment. And when you earn that kind of a reputation, it will be easy for the next generations, your juniors, to get into campus selections better. For you, for everybody, it's going to be a benefit. So in that regard, Bharat Engineering College and certain other engineering colleges in Hyderabad, when they asked me, how do we plan this? How do we go about it? Do we need to impose a fine to make all the participants on the campus speak English? I said, no, let's not do that. Have marshals, I call them communication marshals, have 15 to 20, 30, 40, 50 people, maybe an engineering college management should decide to employ people who can just go around on the campus. They are not necessarily teachers of English, they could be anybody. They're just on the campus interacting with people, just talking in general about general things in English language. And that's how the overall communication levels and fluency levels are improved. I have also been part of several campus recruitment drives and campus recruitment placement and recruitment training, all kinds of things. I have conducted several interviews on behalf of organizations in selecting candidates for them. So simple questions like, tell me about yourself, which is the most commonly asked question, is not, participants are not able to answer that properly with confidence. And another thing that I observed, sometimes we ask you, tell me about any projects. How many projects have you done as part of, how many projects did you do, work upon in your college? They say one, sir, 2, sir. So they speak in one-word sentences. Questions like, what's your favorite color? They would say blue. So there is no proper answer. The sentences are not complete. I like blue, or my favorite color is blue, things like that. Now, I'm sure you would definitely have a campus placement cell in your college. Your teachers may be working hard to prepare you for interview skills. This session is not about interview skills. This session is about giving you tips and techniques on how you can practice them in everyday life over a period of time, from year 1 to year last, or at least you can start any day. Next 30 days, let's say you're going to attend an interview, you can start from today and find it. I'm sure about that. So as part of that, reading aloud is one important aspect to improve your clarity and communication ability, pronunciation, and all that. Now, at this point in time, I would like the host to allow one of the participants to read aloud the first paragraph here, please. Would any of you like to read aloud the paragraph here?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, Vidyasagar sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Continue, please.
Yeah. One second, sir. Just 1 second. Yeah, some participants, anybody can somebody read that? Vidyasagar sir, unmute చేయండి. Hello, Mr. Vidyasagar, can you hear me? Yeah, can any participant, could you please take initiate to read that as a trainer has asked you?
You can unmute yourself. I see Vinita, Sadashiv Reddy. Okay, some participant, can you unmute? Soumya is asking to unmute. Shashi Vardhan Reddy is also asking us to unmute him. All right, let's relax and go slow. Shashi Vardhan Reddy. Can you unmute all of them, sir? Srinivas, sir? No problem, I guess.
Yeah, sir. Can I speak it out?
Yeah, please continue.
First traffic light. The first traffic light was installed in 1868 outside Britain's House of Parliament.
I'm sorry. Yep.
It was a pair of alternating red and green gas lamps. It was used to keep the large number of horse-drawn carriages in the area from crashing one into another. It was a revolving lantern and was illuminated by gas. The lantern was turned by means of a lever at its base so that appropriate light faced traffic. It was a great help to the police officers, but on 2nd January 1869, the traffic light exploded, injuring the operator. This accident discouraged further experiments in traffic control for some time. However, research continued, and today we have the most advanced traffic control systems. Thank you, sir.
Good. Any other participant, please? Anybody else?
Sure.
One more participant.
First traffic light. The first traffic light was installed in 1868 outside Britain's House of Parliament. It was a pair of alternating red and green gas lamps. It was used to keep the large number of horse-drawn carriages in the area from crashing one into another. It was a revolving lantern and was illuminated by gas. The lantern was turned by means of a lever at its base so that the appropriate light faced traffic. It was a great help to the police officers. But on 2nd January 1869, the traffic light exploded, injuring the operator. This accident discouraged further experiments in traffic control for some time. However, research continued, and today we have the most advanced traffic control systems. Thank you.
All right. Good. May I request the first participant to read again, please? Only the first paragraph, not the paragraphs, only the first. Soumya, could you read again? Is it Soumya who read it first?
Yes, sir. First traffic light. The first traffic light was installed in 1868 outside Britain's Houses of Parliament. It was a pair of alternating red and green gas lamps. It was used to keep the large number of horse-drawn carriages in the area from crashing one into another. It was a revolving lantern and was illuminated by gas. The lantern was Should I speak, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Soumya, please go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, first traffic light. The first traffic light was installed in 1868 outside Britain's Houses of Parliament. It was a pair of alternating red and green gas lamps. It was used to keep the large number of horse-drawn carriages in the area from crashing one into another. It was a revolving lantern and was illuminated by gas. The lantern was turned by means of a lever at its base so that the appropriate light faced traffic.
Great, good. Soumya, did you feel a little more comfortable when you read the second time?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Better than the first time.
Great, thank you. That's the point I wanted to prove. So this is one of the tips that I wished to give all of you, that if you can read aloud every day for some time, whether it is teachers or students, anybody, if you could read aloud for some time every day, it's going to do a lot of benefit for you. It's going to be, unimaginable benefit. Trust me there. Thank you very much, and I shall read. Does anybody else want to read the passage, please? You can mention in the chat. Does anybody else want to read? Read aloud, I mean. Okay, if no, let me read it for you. Just to show you the difference. The first traffic light was installed in 1868 outside Britain's Houses of Parliament. It was a pair of alternating red and green gas lamps. It was used to keep the large number of horse-drawn carriages in the area from crashing one into another. It was a revolving lantern and was illuminated by gas. The lantern was turned by means of a lever at its base so that the appropriate light faced traffic. It was a great help to the police officers, but on 2nd January 1869, the traffic light exploded, injuring the operator. This accident discouraged further experiments in traffic control for some time. However, research continued, and today we have the most advanced traffic control systems. All right. So now, in some of the interviews, I don't know whether you've heard or you've come across, what happens is the interviewers give you the day's newspaper or a book or paper on which some reading passages are there, and then they ask you to read aloud. And I have seen participants struggling a lot to do that many times. Okay, they are simply not able to read aloud. And so that's another important thing for you to keep in mind. Those who are attending interviews, please try and practice reading aloud. That's very important. That's going to be a very crucial thing. All right. Then some tips for you from English language, like there is something called as redundancy. Duplication. Duplication is use of two words at the same time, like different, very, big, small. Your English teachers will be able to help you understand these things. Duplication is using two words, which is not correct in English. So we have different varieties. We have different varieties. Is a wrong usage. Big, small. All these are wrong usages. Please, cool, really. Okay. All these are wrong usages. Redundancy is similar to duplication, but not the same. Redundancy is extra word used. So we need to get rid of all these things. Return back, only return is enough. Back is not required. Discuss about is not required. Less discount, less is not required. Discount is enough there. Then also it is important for teachers to have a good communication scenario, good levels of communication while they are interacting with students in the classroom, especially the lingo. Lingo is the tone with which teachers talk. Like in schools, children, all of you, come on, get up, stand up, do your homework. That's what is called lingo, exactly. we should have, teachers must have a conversational tone of speaking, than something like what I'm doing with you now. Then mannerisms and lingo, you know, understood, right, all right, any doubts, any questions. You know, teachers keep talking like that. That's something which the overall level of communication must improve. Then another tip from me is the question tags. Most of us do not use question tags in our everyday communication. Question tags are, you know it, right? This is, you know it, right? He already told, no? The topic is already over, no? We discussed this, now. He did not speak well, no? She's singing well, kada. You're okay, no? You know, these are the kind of sentences which I hear very often from even including teachers and great professors who are very good at their subject knowledge. Nothing wrong about it. There's absolutely nothing wrong about this kind of English. I'm very proud of my country and I'm very proud of my English. However, when it comes to performing in an interview or performing in a job, you have heard both of my friends speaking there, Ramakant and Vijay. They have more than 15 years of experience in working with different types of organizations, software and other kind of organizations. So if you have listened carefully to them, there are no Indianisms in their English because their job demands it, and how they have evolved and their English has become better. It was already good by the time I knew them. How their English has become better is because they interact with people from various parts of the world. Now, the topic of our discussion is industry expectations. One of the main expectations of industry these days is, since the whole world is becoming a global village, has already become a global village, when they employ students, they would like to employ people who have a neutral accent. A neutral accent doesn't mean speaking like a British man or an American. Now, for example, how am I speaking? Is my accent British or American? You can leave that comment on the chat box. You can say my accent is very bad. I don't mind. You can give feedback on my accent. Absolutely no problem. But I would like to talk to you for a minute in the accent which most teachers and professors and lecturers speak in engineering colleges. So today what we will do is we will talk about electrical engineering. Electrical engineering is a very important part of engineering. But see, electrical engineering means it is not that every part in engineering is electrical, but there are some parts which are purely engineering and some parts which are coupled with operated with electricity. So that things are called as electrical engineering, right? Okay, now understood? This is the kind of lingo or the tone or the kind of English that we people have, which I call as Indian English. Now, if participants also speak like that, if students also speak like that, it's going to be, these are the kind of sounds, that's the kind of English which would not fetch you a job. Okay, then, so I'll give you a minute's time. Can you quickly think of what question tags you would get for these sentences? For example, you know it, right? That is right. Remove the word right. You know it, don't you? Don't you is a question tag. I'll give you one more. You already know. You already told no. You said this already. Didn't you? Don't you? And didn't you? Now, there are 5 more sentences there for you. Could you think of the question tags? I'll give you a minute's time. You can put it in the chat or you can give me on the audio also. Yeah, thank you. Didn't you? Good. The topic is already over now. Okay. We discussed this now, didn't we? Great. He did not speak well, no? Did he? She's singing well, Kada. Isn't she? You're okay, no? You're okay, aren't you? You're not okay, are you? So please, you can learn it all by yourselves. If you're an independent learner, you would know how to improve your overall communication skills. So please use question tags, which Indian speakers of English never use. I mean, very rare I've come across people using question tags. Tomorrow is holiday. Tomorrow is holiday, no? Tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is a holiday, isn't it? Very rarely I heard people speaking like that. Then my next topic for you. So question tags is another important point for you there. Then mother tongue interference and pronunciation is another topic that I would like to talk to you about. How to get rid of mother tongue interference. Now, to make you understand this, I would like to talk to you about the English pronunciation system or the phonetic system a bit here. English language, as you all know, there are 21 letters in the English alphabet. I've seen many people again saying alphabets. It's not alphabets, it is alphabet. There are 26 letters in the English alphabet. The set of 26 letters are called as alphabet. And out of which 21 are consonants and 5 are vowels, which we have studied at school. However, that's called the orthographic system or the letter system. Then there is a phonetic system. I'm sure most of you already know this. There are 20 vowel sounds and 24 consonant sounds. Now, by giving you this background, what I'm trying to take you to is there are certain sounds. Please, concentrate here a bit. There are certain sounds present in English language which are not present in any of the Indian languages. Similarly, there are certain sounds present in Indian languages which are not present in English. That's not a concern for us at all. Sounds present in Indian languages and not present in English is not our problem. But our problem is to identify the sounds that are present in English language and not present in Indian languages, because while pronouncing those words, what we tend to do is when there is a particular word which is not present in Indian, particular sound, which is not present in Indian languages and is present in English, we tend to take a nearest, we substitute it with the nearest sounding, with the nearest sound. That's almost similar, if not same. So for example, if you take the word apple, in the word apple, the first sound is a. Do you think that that particular sound is present in any of the Indian languages? The first sound a. If you think that it is present, can you translate the word apple? Sorry, can you transcribe it in the script of your mother tongue? Not translate, please, I'm sorry. Don't write apple as Sepu, which is my mother tongue, Sepu, or Seb in Hindi. Telugu is my mother tongue. And try to write the word apple in the script of your mother tongue. And tell me, what do you end up getting there? Do you end up getting yapil or apil, apil? So that's the confirmation for us. It's not possible for you to write in Hindi or in Telugu or any Indian language to write the word apple or cat in the script of your mother tongue. If you try and attempt to write the word cat in the script of your mother tongue, we would end up writing kiat or kat, which is a confirmation that the sound air doesn't exist in Indian languages. So now what happens? Because I've seen many people saying yaktaru, yankaru, yaktivity. Even teachers in colleges and schools I've seen saying yaktivity, yankaru, and I've even heard people saying paparu for paper. And okay, so that is one sound. In the words, the next three words, date, plate, and rate, we pronounce it as date, plate, and rate, which is the wrong pronunciation in English. To neutralize the pronunciation there, what we must understand is the A sound, which is there in Enugu, or in Hindi, I could not find a prolonged A sound. Maybe anak, a lot of people say anak for eyeglasses. So, but yeah, there may be a word in Hindi where there is a sound in between a word. Okay. Now, the sound a doesn't exist in English language. In place of a, we have a. Some of you may already know this. That's called a diphthong, a. So it's not date, it is date. It's not plate, it is plate. It's not rate, it is rate. Okay, fate, my fate. Today, it's my fate that I'm in a poor network area and weather problems, whatever. I have a backup of 3 internet connections. All 3 are gone for in the entire area. I have 2 mobile data plan backups. Both are for some strange reason. The entire network area is I don't know what's happening. I even feel very uneasy to talk about it. And in the past 10, 15 years, I have never experienced such kind of crazy problems as I'm experiencing now. Okay, then also it's important for the teachers as well as students in colleges. This is my plan for overall improvement as a success plan for achieving a reputation and success in life, a reputation for college and success in life. It's important for teachers and students to know the right pronunciation of, if not all the words in the English language, those words that you would come across regularly in your life. Have a complete inventory of that. Probably it would run to a maximum of 600 words and a maximum of say 200 sentences. If we know how to pronounce them properly, then we are done. I mean, we are pretty good to go. So exam is the wrong pronunciation. It is exam. Engineering, engineer, it is engineering. Engineer. Electrical is wrong. Electrical. Abacus is wrong. It is abacus. And people don't, I mean, many of us do not know or probably not concentrate when we pronounce words like quiet and quiet. Quiet and quiet have 2 different meanings. College is wrong. It is college. Student is wrong. It's student. Never, I like that pronunciation. Never, ever. But it's not never. It is never and ever. Quality is wrong. It is quality. Government, government. Principle. So the list goes. Career, career. People say career. It should be career and carrier. So the difference. And I love the Telugu and the Hindi-based pronunciation for there and there. People say there and there. It's not there and there. It's there. Okay. In case I'm again off from this, give me a minute's time. Oh, good. Again, the electricity is back. Even the backup generator not working for some reason. I don't know. The stars are not good for us today. And then double, Indian words and phrases. We need to get rid of these things as well. Double action, over action. Could you please is not required when we say could you send the report by 4 o'clock, something like that. I love these 2 expressions: dirty fellow, useless fellow, end results, level best, co-brother, cousin sister, co-father-in-law. These are all redundant. Some of them are redundant. Some of them are born in India, not present in English language. So it's also important that we need to have very good English when we are speaking. Then another important concept here. Now, I'm probably overshooting time here. I hope we have some more time there. It's also important for us to learn the different types of sentences in English, called the positive, negative, the question sentence, and the negative question. Please get in touch with your English teachers again here for this. To get rid of the Indianisms and the Indian style of speaking English, because this is one of the primary requirements to be successful in interviews and after even joining a job. Okay. So yesterday he came now. This is not a question tag. Here we would have a negative question structure called didn't he come yesterday? We did not discuss this already, yeah? Didn't we discuss this already? Tomorrow you're coming up. tomorrow you're coming, are you coming tomorrow? Principal sir said what? What did the principal say, or what did principal sir say? If you want to use the word, use the tag sir there. What did the principal say? Then where you live? Where do you live? May I know where you live is better. Meeting was good. What good? Lot of technical problems. On and off. The speaker did not have proper internet connection. Power cut. Current was going on and off. Current is again Indian English for power, electric power. Many people use current. Meeting was good. What good? Na bonda good. You know, sometimes we use Telugu words in between or Hindi words between. And the best I love is Kiran sir Gana. And you know, sir poinda. So if you say Kiran sir Gana, it means Kiran sir is he dead? As he left for the day is a correct sentence. So we need to practice this kind of English and this kind of communicating. Though I'm using the word English a lot here, what I mean to say is that the overall effect of communication, the body language, the pronunciation, everything changes and everything improves if you practice these tips and techniques. Trust me, friends, if we practice these tips and techniques as part of everyday life, accent, clarity of speech, pronunciation, body language, expression, movement of hands, the overall confidence improves, and that is what is going to count when you sit in an interview. Now, at this point in time, I have two questions. Question number one, how did you learn your mother tongue? Could you now think in a, think out of the box, you know? Let me not give you any hint here. I would like to ask all of you, how did you learn your mother tongue? Or rather, how were we all able to speak our mother tongue comfortably by the age of 5 or 6? And by the age of 5 or 6, we were all able to speak our mother tongue very comfortably. Could you put in the chat your thought process on how did we learn our mother tongue? Let me see who gives me the most appropriate answer for this. There are 100 answers which are all correct. Listening is correct. Good. Sahiti Sri Durga says listening. That's right. That's not a wrong answer. Sorry. Sahiti says by listening. How did we learn our mother tongue? Did somebody teach us our mother tongue? Did our mother teach the mother tongue to us? If it is by listening, who were we listening to? Who was around us speaking our mother tongue? Family members? All right. That's fine. Thank you, Sahiti, for saying listening. See, you know, one of the sessions that I have attended, the speaker said, or you know, even I feel that's how it is.